As Arsenal approach a massive game against Manchester United at the Emirates Stadium, Mikel Arteta's Arsenal will need to make it 4 wins out of 4, with Arne Slott's Liverpool now firmly favourites. So today we'll get all the breaking team news going into the game, find out if Gabriel Magalhães and Ricardo Calafrio could be fit. We'll also get a breaking update regarding Arsenal's new sporting director, 2 potential signings that he could be making, as well as breaking down who will start against Manchester United. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Baz14. Welcome back to Boys Channel, and I hope you guys are doing sensational as Arsenal approach a massive game at the Emirates against mid-table Manchester United. It won't be easy, so as per, smash a like on the video if you enjoy and subscribe to the channel if you are new, helping your boy on his road to 300,000 subscribers. Starting off with a Gabriel Magalhães update. Having now scored at the London Stadium for 3 out of the last 4 seasons. We often talk about his elite defensive ability, how comfortable he is against top attackers, time and time again pocketing certain Erling Haaland. Having now scored 17 goals since arriving in 2020-21, 6 more league goals than any other defender, his goal scoring prowess is definitely growing. Not just scoring goals for Arsenal, but also important ones. When you think about all the elite sides in the past, goal scoring fellas like John Terry, Nemanja Vidic, even a certain Sergio Ramos. For Arsenal and Gabriel Magalhães, we have a set way of scoring and it's almost unstoppable. We're talking about corners. Having dominated from so many set pieces this season, scoring against Spurs away and Man City, Arsenal have a set tactic of using players as screens. For Gabriel to become the main player to arrive onto the ball and dunk on players like a prime Shaquille O'Neal. And when you think about how teams could stop that, potentially even doubling up, the issue with that would be the fact that we have so many other tall players. Havertz 6'4", Saliba 6'3", the rivals of Mikel Merino and Ricardo Calafrio, 2 more 6'2" plus players. There's a reason why when Arsenal get a corner, teams get so scared. Mark up Gabriel Magalhães and you're forfeiting space to other set piece threats instead. The prime example of course being Mikel Merino. Think about the amount of times that he's nearly scored from free kicks. The fact that he even scored against Liverpool. A major part of Mikel Arteta's recruitment over the past few years has been set piece threat, because under the coaching of Nicolas Jova, Arsenal at times can be unstoppable. But in terms of Gabriel's future itself, with stocks higher than ever before, now a first team starter for Brazil having started in all of the World Cup qualifiers, 26 years of age and entering his peak years, his current contract expires in 2027, having signed in October 2022. According to recent reports, talks between Arsenal and Gabriel Magalhães over a new contract extension are at a pretty advanced stage, and it makes a lot of sense why. Not only was Gabriel one of the first players to invest in the Mikel Arteta project, Mikel Arteta's first ever marquee signing, in the summer that we signed Thomas Partey, but it's also the fact that when you talk about top left-footed centre-backs, in the current market is an absolute premium. Finding a player the set-piece threat of Gabriel, while also the elite defensive ability, alongside William Saliba, he has formed quite a partnership. So it makes a lot of sense why Arsenal made his future a priority, advancing in negotiations and getting a deal done as soon as possible, rewarding a player full of so much consistency. But now let's talk about a certain Bukayo Saka, having started this year on fire with 10 Premier League assists in only 12 games, becoming the joint second fastest to reach that mark with Cesc Fabregas, 1 game behind Ozil and Harry Kane. We have seen elite levels of creativity, leading the league for the most big chances created, as well as chances itself with 36. And I'm not trying to hear any talk of stat padding from corners. While Saka may be amazing from set pieces, with 7 of 10 assists being from open play, even if you take away the 3 corners, he still leads the league for assists. In a recent interview given by his teammate Jorginho, alongside Rio Ferdinand, he claims Saka can win the Ballon d'Or. A couple years ago in the era of Messi and Ronaldo, that would have been ludicrous, but having seen him this year put up elite numbers, currently with a total of 81 Premier League goals and assists before the age of 24, only 1 behind an all-timer like Ryan Giggs, and 12 behind a certain Cristiano Ronaldo. These numbers are undeniable. Years of consistently turning up and improving, compared to player after player from Brandon Williams to Cole Palmer. Now you've even got talk of Mo Salah. For Bukayo Saka, it's a simple matter of if he's a part of a winning Arsenal side, if we can go on to achieve massive things like a Premier League title and even a Champions League. Having also been excellent for England, why not aim to become the best player in the world? The Saka that we've seen this year is definitely different. More confidence in his game and more importantly arrogance. We are seeing him understand his own quality, realise the player he is and the respect he deserves. Even when you look at his new celebration, he's clearly acknowledging that. And the fact that he's come through Hill End makes it that much sweeter. Talking about the academy, you've got another star coming up this scene. We're talking about 14-year-old Max Dowman, who at 14 years and 336 days old, became the youngest player in Arsenal history to play at under 21 level, breaking a record set by Richard Pauling and also overtaking a certain Ethan Nwaneri, having already played in an age category well above his age. To now be appearing for the Arsenal under-21s just shows how much the club is platforming him, recognising his talents, making him train alongside the first team, showing him how they appreciate his talent, If Dowman is to make any appearance for Arsenal this season, he will automatically become the youngest player in club history to make a senior appearance. And it's mental when you think about it, because at 14 years of age, he's not even allowed to play in the youth club because he's technically too young. With the way the club is fast-tracking him, games in the FA Cup and Carabao Cup soon approaching, I wonder if Mikel Arteta throws him on the bench. And as Hassan Khan now reports, Mikel Arteta is open to including Max Dowman on the first team bench before the season ends, with the Arsenal hierarchy keen to show a clear pathway to the emerging talent following the summer exodus. And that is because, as the report also adds, multiple Premier League academies have approached Max Dowman's father to register their interest. But talking of playmakers, let's talk about Fabio Vieira. Having left Arsenal in a surprise loan, returning back to Porto, despite making a slow start after getting injured straight away, in the last 2 games his form is picked up. First with a goal off the bench against Anderlecht in the Europa League, a banger from outside the box on his weaker foot, dropping a 7.4 rating in only 8 minutes. 1 goal, 1 key pass, and 6 out of 8 passes. But a key thing being that whenever he plays for Porto, he always starts on the right, not playing as a number 8 or a number 10, which all changed in the last game where Porto took on Casapi. This time Vieira starting and dropping an 8.2 rating, scoring once again playing as a number 10, with 62 touches and 31 accurate passes, 4 out of 6 accurate long balls. His heat map shows straight away that he was playing far more centrally, and even in terms of the goal itself, picking the ball up there, driving forwards and playing out wide, then combining with the in-form Samuel Mordio, who himself got on the score sheet later in the game. A player that has 9 goals and 7 starts for Porto in the Portuguese league, and an absurd 43% goal conversion, 20 years of age and one of the most highly rated young forwards in Europe. The idea of Fabio Vieira starting more games centrally, alongside this very exciting talent, could lead to a fantastic partnership going into the season. But talking of signings that Arsenal made in 2022-23, let's now talk about what's happening in the future of Gabriel Jesus and Alexander Zinchenko. As according to The Athletic, a move for a new forward could see Arsenal part ways with Gabriel Jesus, with Alexander Zinchenko another whose future could be in some doubt. His contract expires in the summer of 2026, and as of yet, there is no news on a potential extension. Players that arrived at Arsenal and elevated us straight away. We cannot forget these guys' instant impact, elevating an Arsenal squad whose goal was only top 4, fighting for a title when no one expected it. But when you think about this season, Jesus starting only 2 of 11 Premier League games, Zinchenko only 1 of 5. Their profiles could still be very useful coming off the bench. With the arrivals of the likes of Kai Havertz and Ricardo Calafiori, Zinchenko and Jesus are no longer an integral part of the first team. Far more squad players on first team wages, having left the Man City side in the first place where they were winning titles but playing on the bench, with Arsenal yet to give any of them new contracts. An exit next summer for me is almost certain. At both 27 years of age, they need more first team minutes. And for Arsenal, they could easily offer market value, money to invest back into the first team, improve it with even better squad players, on far lower wages. With the recent departure of Edu Gaspar, the importance of a new sporting director is growing. And that's what brings us to Real Sociedad's Roberto Olabe. Set to leave Sociedad at the end of the season, you've now got the reliable Santi owner reporting that Arsenal are in advanced talks with Roberto Olabe to appoint him as the new sporting director, having prioritised Arsenal over any other European club, following positive discussions about the project. Who also claims Olabe is in advanced talks with Arsenal, backed up by another reliable report by Gianluca Di Marzio, also confirming that Arsenal are in advanced talks to secure Olabe as the new sporting director. Out of all the potential candidates, this seems the most likely, and what he'd offer Arsenal is a lot of experience. Having worked in Real Sociedad since 2018, overseeing consistent European football, with shrewd signings in the past, and definitely an eye for talent, with the arrivals of Alexander Isak and Martin Odegaard being prime examples. Even in terms of player sales, a major thing that Arsenal fans wanted from Edu Gaspar, having secured 70 million euros for Alexander Isak in the summer of 2022, despite having just scored only 6 goals that season. Talking of Isak the player himself, of course he is subject to more interest from Arsenal. And talking of that player himself, this is where things get really interesting. As Florian Pletterberg confirms, Olabe is definitely a concrete candidate for Arsenal to succeed Edu Gaspar, and having bought Isak to Real Sociedad in the first place, the two still have an excellent relationship, with the 25-year-old Newcastle striker on the list of Arsenal's summer transfer targets. The arrival of Olabe can not only give Arsenal an upper hand in getting Isak, but also when you think about Martin Zubimendi, another key target for Arsenal, with Liverpool and City finding it so hard to get him out of Sociedad. When you've got his former sporting director, it would automatically give Arsenal a major advantage. And now, according to David Ornstein, multiple well-placed sources believe that Martin Zubimendi is now coming to terms with the idea of leaving Real Sociedad, and anticipate that happening next summer, with Arsenal among multiple long-term admirers. But in terms of Alexander Isak, with 4 league goals so far this season, from an XG of 5 and a 13% goal conversion, having been taken off in the last game against Crystal Palace after only 22 minutes, yet again with another injury. According to reports, it was only a knock and only a precaution, and he will be fit and available for the massive game against Liverpool at St James's Park. But it does open up a wider conversation. Having missed a total of 38 games for club and country, since arriving at Newcastle in 2022. For an Arsenal side that Mikel Arteta has tried to make injury-proof. Of course, in football, everything is unpredictable. But with the likes of Declan Rice and Kai Havertz, both having flawless injury records before Arsenal signing them, Isak's quality is undeniable, but in terms of that fitness and availability, for the reported price tag of over £100 million, the questions are always going to be there. With reports claiming that Arsenal have as many as 6 attackers on the list of transfer targets, Isak being one, alongside Šeško and Buemo, Retegi, Delap and Kolo Muani. One player not on that list, of course, is Victor Gyökeres. And according to The Athletic, a January move for Victor Gyökeres cannot be ruled out, but the expectation is that he leaves Sporting Lisbon at the end of the season. Gyökeres has a €100 million release clause on his contract, but Sporting are likely to do business for around 70. Gyökeres has a preference of who he wants to join, but the situation is open. His camp are considering options from across Europe, including the Premier League. If we're talking about availability, Gyökeres trumps Isak straight away, as according to Transfermarkt, he's never missed a single game via injury in his entire career, even in terms of goals, an outrageous record in 2020. But according to Florian Plettenberg, you've actually got Manchester United who have now made initial concrete talks regarding Victor Gyökeres and a potential move in the summer. With the Red Devils now fully involved, their move would require a sale first. But more intriguingly, Man City have also intensified their efforts in recent days, with Hugo Viana currently pushing hard for the pursuit of Gyökeres. Man City's new sporting director that has previously played for Sporting Lisbon. Them pursuing a forward for me is not a surprise, having let Julian Alvarez leave in the summer and not sign a replacement, with Erling Haaland being their top scorer in the league, and the next highest being Josko Gvardiol. City actually do need a forward, but in terms of Gyökeres, a similar profile to Erling Haaland, an out-and-out goal scorer. Whichever club he goes to, he will need to be a starter. While also lack a profile like Gyökeres with a different type of striker in Havertz, with City already having Erling Haaland, he wouldn't be guaranteed first team minutes. And even in terms of Man United, Rasmus Hojlund and Josh Zirkzee, without a sale, they can't make a move. For me, all eyes are on Arsenal this January. Still yet to secure a brand new sporting director. Will they wait for that man to arrive before they sign a striker? Or will they move for a profile like Gyökeres before that? For me, if any deal is going to happen, it's going to be far more likely in January, because come summer 2025, all eyes will be turned to Alexander Isak. Moving on to Arsenal versus Manchester United. Once upon a time seen as the English Classico, two of the greatest sides in the Premier League era once again going head to head. For the days of Fergie versus Wenger, now you've got Arteta versus Amorim. And in terms of the fixture itself, we will face Man United once again at the Emirates Stadium, this time in the FA Cup, having drawn them in a third round for next month, which of course will have its own importance with the trophy on the line, a growing impatience in the Arsenal fan base, a demand for more silverware. But in terms of this game here, United go into a decent form, despite sitting 9th 4 league games without a loss, winning their last 2 games under new manager Ruben Amorim, the standout being a 4-0 victory over Everton at Old Trafford. Rashford and Zirkzee both on the score sheet with the brace. But in terms of the underlying numbers, having only got a 0.7 on XG to Everton's 0.76, against a side that is 15th in the league that had gone 5 league games without a win, United fans realise this is going to be a completely different level of test. And while they may have the returning Lenny Yoro, having been injured against Arsenal in pre-season, he is set to finally make a return to the first team squad. But they will be without 2 more important players, Kobbie Mainoo and Lisandro Martinez, having both picked up a yellow card against Everton. They are both suspended. A major blow straight away, because these are 2 important parts of Amorim's build-up phase. And in terms of Kobbie Mainoo, apart from him, it's a profile that United severely lack. A midfielder with real conducting ability, it's a profile that apart from him, United clearly lack. The key thing for me in this game is going to be the style of play. Having just beaten Amorim's former team Sporting Lisbon 5 goals to 1, making a dominant start in the first half and penning them in, limiting their counter-attacking threats, and the in-form Victor Gyökeres, I essentially expect Amorim to set up in a similar fashion, with a back 3 and a use of wing-back, having used Amad Diallo to great effect so far at United. But for Arsenal, they will have the experience, playing against a back 3 side that is very aggressive in possession, always trying to cause chaos going forwards. Amorim is not a manager known for being ultra-defensive, far more about getting up the pitch and playing his own football. That sort of style at the Emirates Stadium could be hazardous, against an Arsenal side that has scored 13 goals in the last 5 games. Essentially put, the more space that you give us, the more that we're going to thrive. Odegaard and Saka are both in amazing form. But in terms of the Arsenal team news, what's happened with Gabriel Magalhães? Taken off in the 45th minute against West Ham, according to Mikel Arteta, it was related to a previous injury that he had in Lisbon, and obviously he did great to be a part of that. But with that result and the niggle that he was feeling, we decided to take him off. And it made sense because he was a doubt going into the game. But having also been taken up by Lucas Fabianski straight to the head, there was some reports after the game that this actually might have been a concussion, but they also didn't report it. Because if they had under FA protocols, Gabriel would be forced to miss an entire week. To me, it all looks like a precaution and he will be once again available. But what about Ricardo Calafiori also taken off on the West Ham game? Early in the 55th minute, seen pointing towards his groin as he was taken off. Post-game, there was no comments from Mikel Arteta, which I see as a positive sign, that there was nothing serious to happen and it was only a precaution. In a game that you also had Mikel Merino and Thomas Partey miss out, with a knee issue and muscle issue, despite Thomas Partey actually being a part of the Arsenal squad that arrived at the London Stadium. To me, that says that he was close to actually playing. A last-minute call that Arsenal made to keep the players safe, trusting in the more experienced Jorginho instead. His importance against a team like Man United can't be overstated, having seen him thrive against Sporting Lisbon in the Champions League, threading through incisive passes against a very aggressive side. Here's how I think Arsenal will line up. Raya and go on a back four of Timber, Saliba, Gabriel and Calafiori, a midfield three of Rice, Partey and Odegaard, and a front three of Martinelli, Havertz and Bukayo Saka. United might be going into this game sat in mid-table, but of course the game won't be easy, with Marcus Rashford picking up form just before the game, a player known for scoring goals against Arsenal. Over the last 2 years we might have got wins, but they were never simple. Close games until the very last moments. Under a brand new manager with new tactical philosophies, yes, it will take United time to adapt, but of course they are dangerous. Players on the counter-attack that are explosive, and an informed Amad Diallo that needs to be respected. But for Arsenal, they go into this game with major confidence and a need to win. In a title race that became that much more interesting after Man City lost 2-0 to Liverpool at Anfield, in a game that you had Pep Guardiola rattled. With Liverpool fans chanting you getting sacked in the morning, Pep replied with 6 fingers, indicate how many titles he'd won. But with 6 losses in 7 games, and a whopping 11 points behind first place Liverpool, for Man City things aren't looking that good. With even more reports coming out recently, claiming a proposal to ban state-controlled clubs from English football has been included in the football governance bill. If it is passed, both Man City and Newcastle will need to change ownership to obtain a license from a new independent regulator. With a lot of people thinking that City aren't on the title race anymore, one of Arsenal's biggest rivals of the past few years, knocked out at Anfield, looking like a mid-table side with no confidence. You've then got a certain Enzo Maresca's Chelsea, in 3rd place behind Arsenal, but with the same amount of goals scored, same amount of points, same defeats and draws, and goals conceded, only behind Arsenal in alphabetical order. When Cole Palmer was asked if they're part of the title race, he goes, nah, it's too early, man. But all of that doesn't really matter because the team firmly in control is Arne Slot's Liverpool, having absolutely smoked Man City for 90 minutes. With a whopping 3.53 XG to City's 0.80, they are now 9 points clear top of the Premier League. Their biggest margin as leaders in the competition since the final day of 2019-20, a year they won the title. There is not a single team that has ever been 9 points clear at this stage of the season that has not gone on to win the title. And for someone that once saw Man City as our biggest threat, a team that had won the last 4 league titles of course deserve that respect. Watching them struggle now without Rodri, and seeing Liverpool thrive under a new manager, respect is of course earned and they deserve the credit. Currently the most informed side in Europe, with 18 wins out of a whopping 20. From beating Real Madrid to beating Man City, this is now the team to beat. And for Arsenal themselves, having lost 2 league games this season, those Newcastle and Bournemouth games could be costly. But when you look at the overall 2024 league table, Arsenal have the joint most points with City and Liverpool, despite playing a game less. That doesn't give you a trophy or a title, but it shows as a side that has the ability to go on a run. A massive sample size of a team that can hold high levels for a long period of time. The focus needs to be entirely on ourselves right now because we can't control Liverpool. Focus on United this Wednesday. Then you've got a Mill Smith vs Fulham on Sunday. But with Liverpool 9 points clear, my friends, I want you guys to talk to me down below in the comments. With them firmly being the favourites now, do you think Arsenal will be able to make up that 9-point gap? But that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was all of your latest news today, going into a massive game against Man United at the Emirates Stadium. Of course it won't be easy, but for Arsenal when you're fighting for a title and 9 points off the pace, nothing's going to be easy. Get the win, get the job done, and try to close the gap. As per my friends, I'll see you next time. Take care. In a bit.